Good morning. This is the Shaman of the Divine Light. Today is November 1st, 2022. And my message today is about, are we who we work for? I grew up in an era where my father worked in a mill all his life as a mechanic, and that's who he was. That was his identity. And a lot of other men in my generation, probably like my father's more, but that was their identity, who they worked for. Not necessarily who they were as a person. We're moving into an era where who we are is who we are and not who we work for. And I've had a lot of different jobs, and people always say, who do you work for? And that's my identity. And it wasn't my identity. It was never who I was. My jobs were, the jobs I've taken over my years were a means to an end to help support my ministry. It wasn't my calling to be in those jobs. And I think what we're dealing with also is we're going to go into a new reality where those individuals, the ones who are identified by their jobs, are going to struggle a lot because they're going to be able to pursue their own interests, their own joys, their own strengths. And we're going to move into a world where nobody can tell you you can't. Sounds good, but the struggle to actually accept that, I think a lot of people are going to have a hard time. I mean, my dad was happy being known as a mechanic in a paper mill. My father-in-law worked in a paper mill also, and in the turbine room. And again, he worked his way up to be in the turbine room, and that was the cushy job in the plant, and that's what he worked his way up to, and that was his identity. But we aren't those identities, I mean, I worked as a car salesman. I wasn't a car salesman. I enjoyed people. I enjoyed interacting with people. And I've actually walked away from deals thinking because this isn't a good deal for that person. They can't afford this. So I deliberately crapped the deal because I'm too kind to put somebody in a bad situation. But I was also never an insurance salesman. I sold insurance. I sold life insurance. But I was also using that to support a ministry that I was involved with. Again, I wasn't an insurance salesman. My bosses loved me. I was a great employee. I showed up every day. I was well liked, well respected. But I just didn't have the cutthroat mentality to close a deal on somebody with something I know they couldn't afford. That's just the way I was. I like to see myself as a minister in ministry. That's my identity, and that's who we think we all should be. We're moving into a whole new era where we are going to be free to be what we want, or what we've always wanted, of who we are, our true destinies, our true selves. And then how do you identify your true self? Well, you can look back in your life and see if there's been patterns, maybe. You don't want to hang on to that because that's the old energy, that's the old 3D energy, but you can see patterns developing in what you've done and what your interests were. A little practice thing that I've learned recently is how to identify your path, your journey. And please share with me on this site. After you like and smash the like button, subscribe, or leave a comment. What is it that you think your journey is? Now, one thing that you could do for yourself is write down, let's say on a piece of paper, 7 things that you think that you really are good at. Even if it's just you think you're good at it, but in reality, but you like it, you're proud of it. Even if it's a fantasy that's unbelievably out there. The more fantastic, maybe the better. We'll write down 7 things. And then take another sheet of paper, write down 7 more things, and repeat it on a third, fourth, up to 7 pages. But each page, when you write something, don't look back at the previous pages. Write down 7 things on 7 pages. And when you get done, see if a pattern's emerging of what it is you really want. You can do that one right after the other. I wouldn't recommend it. Take time with it. Maybe do 1 an hour throughout the day. But just get 7. Even if you do it maybe for 3 days. Do 4 a day for 3 days. Or the other way around. 4 a day for 3 days. Or 1 a day for 7 days. But when you do, look back for the pattern. And see if that evolves a little bit of a path for you or a journey. Curious to see what people come up with. I did that. And I'm living my journey. I want to minister. I want to help people cope with what cope with coming from the 3D to a 5D reality, and help people understand what that means to them. That it's okay to give up the past so that you can move forward. So I'm going to leave this here for now. It's a little bit of an assignment for everybody. Please like and subscribe again. I'd appreciate it. You can also follow me on the Kabbalah Guru's chat sites. I monitor a prayer chat for him, and there's a soul chat and a soul spirit chat, which is a dating site. I recommend visiting the Kabbalah Guru's site. You can see the links on my page. Again, have a great day. Peace be with you. God loves you. I love you. And we all just need to love ourselves a little more each day. Peace and prosperity.